Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Here. Hi everybody. Little lower. Little Hi everybody. Bang. Hi everybody. Here. Hi everybody. Collecting boys from playing, going to try and watch outside today. Outstanding. That sounds like a great move. The dog is being walked right now. And we're going to spend the rest of the day outside. So this is going to be a quicker class because it's a nice day. The dog is being walked right now. And we're going to spend the rest of the day outside. So this is going to be a quicker class. And Ainsley is currently in the bathroom breaking everything. And Ainsley is currently in the bathroom breaking everything. I'm live now, baby. Yeah. 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 So Ainsley. So Ainsley. I'm live now, baby. Yeah. So Ainsley. I'm live now, baby. Yeah. So Ainsley. So Ainsley. I'm live now, baby. Yeah. So Ainsley. So Ainsley. So Ainsley. I'm live now, baby. Yeah. So Ainsley. So Ainsley. So Ainsley. So Ainsley. So Ainsley. In the world. We're just waiting on Ainsley to come back. We're just waiting on Ainsley to come back. In the world. We're just waiting on Ainsley to come back. We're just waiting on Ainsley to come back. This. We're just waiting on Ainsley to come back. And Mackenzie's here, all right. 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 So Ainsley, oh, you're not even on the screen. So Ainsley, oh, you're not even on the screen. You're an echo. There's an echo. Oh. That should deal with the echo then, hopefully. Hopefully. Hopefully it's solved now. The echo.
Yes, it's fixed.
Okay. See, this is why I need some headphones. We should buy some more stuff for the computer, baby, right?
No.
No, we shouldn't. Okay. I'm just gonna text one person. So we're gonna play some video games today, and we are going to do some rockets for the Lester boys. This one was from audience feedback. The boys want to learn about computers in cars and computers in airplanes, and so those are both called embedded systems, which is right there. Okay, the title is right there, and we're going to talk about embedded systems. Yay! And yeah, we're gonna play some Kerbal Space Program, which is a really cool video game that teaches you orbital mechanics. My lips might be super red because I just ate.
Yeah, they're really orange.
Are they still really orange?
Yep.
Okay, so my lips may be really red because I just had ramen. I just ate a spicy ramen with some food coloring, apparently. Can't hear you, very quiet.
I'm gonna get water while you start fixing the table.
We are upping our levels right now. Now you should be able to hear us a lot better. Yeah. So now you should hear us a lot better. And we're going to get into it as soon as Ainsley comes back from whatever. Hopefully everyone's having a very good week. We are having a very good week. We spent some time outside.
Yes, we did. I'm back.
Much better. See, our levels were off. And you can tell that by looking here. Those are our levels right there. Audio levels. Bonjour, there's Dana and Maria. Hi guys, yay. So, and then to the living one down. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to play some Kerbal Space Program. It's a really cool video game. I know it's out for the PC. I'm not sure if it's out for Xbox or any other systems. But it was really cheap. I bought it for about 20 bucks about 5 years ago.
You played it a lot.
I played it a lot. I played it a lot, but it teaches you orbital mechanics, and it teaches you how to build a spaceship. So today you're going to build a spaceship, and that's the closest thing to learning I get today. All right, but we're actually going to do some learning. So, embedded systems. What's an embedded? Oh, no, you know what? Let's talk about the course first. So yeah, we just added in a class on embedded systems, and then we're going to do some crypto finally, and then we're going to maybe do a build your PC, but that might be it. And then I think the next course, if you will, but will still be the same kind of dates and times, that's when we're actually going to start programming, I think. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think? We've started some programming. We've done a little bit of scratch work, and yeah, or whatever the kids want to learn, like about computers, tell me and I'll teach it.
Type it in the comments.
Type it in the comments, yeah. Email me. You guys all have my info. Just text me. So we're gonna do a little bit of a review. Okay. So what did we talked yesterday about two things.
The envelope in the box.
The envelope and the box, right? The variable. So the variable is just something that we say. X is equal to 5. And X can change. It can be A equals 5 or a B equals 5. Virtual hog, I heart you. Aww. I think she's talking to Waverly. Oh, the polys are here. Yay! Yes, we're just doing a review, polys. Talking about our variables and data structures from last course. So a variable, usually it's the type of data, the name, the equals to, and then the value. Sorry, the type of data, the variable, the equals, and the name. Okay? So the data type could be like a string of characters or like a word. It could be a number.
It could be a true, false.
It could be a true, false. It could be a hair in Ainsley's eye. No, it couldn't be a hair in Ainsley's eye. Are you okay?
I don't know. I feel something there. I got it.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah, cat hair.
That's it. And then data structures is just a way of organizing data. And that sounds really complex, but we use them in real life. So the example that we use, these shouldn't have been, So the top one is a picture of a table.
Right over there.
And so that's good for like a team with team players and team roster.
Yeah.
The next one is another example we have in real life. That's like a playoff bracket, which is a data structure for organizing a tournament.
Yeah.
Right? So you put the two teams, and then the Eagles and the Seahawks would fight, and they would play against the 49ers, and then the 49ers would beat Green Bay, and then the 49ers would beat Kansas City, as they did in the Super Bowl last year.
Just saying.
No, they didn't actually win the Super Bowl last year. They lost to Kansas City, remember? That was sad.
No.
Like hockey, exactly like hockey. And then the bottom example is a,
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah,
remember, it's a stack. That's called a stack, like a stack of magazines. So only the top one, we lost our stack. I love all the papers. I cleaned up my desk. But like a stack of magazines.
Like a stack of Legos.
Or a stack of,
I just found these on the table. Stack of Legos.
yeah, or a stack of plates on one of those little,
Plate racks?
one of those plate racks, right? With a push of them down. You can take the plate off and you can put the plate, but you can only reach the top plate. All right? So that's it. And then the other one is a special kind of tree. This one right here is,
It's a bush.
it's a binary search tree. No, it's just a tree. It doesn't matter. But it's a type of graph. Anyway, that's what. So now we're going to talk about embedded systems. Why are we going to talk about embedded systems?
Because they're in computers, cars, and planes.
Yeah.
And rockets.
Because they're, frankly, a lot of computers are little devices, and they're embedded within them. Oh, that's how they're called, embedded systems.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So they're embedded systems. They're planes and computers, or sorry, they're computers in the planes. They're also in dump trucks, oil rigs, ports. You know, like when a big container ship comes in and lands, and they take off all the things, right? There are little microcontrollers in there. Drones, you know, little drones that fly around.
Yeah, we have oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
We had drones in here, but now they're gone.
Okay. The input usually comes in from sensors.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here we go. So they are embedded systems are as simple as possible, right? And they have all of these characteristics. These are some of the characteristics in a cool slide format that I wrote down. They're sophisticated. They're real time. A lot of the time, they're real time. So in a car, in a jet, in a rocket ship, right? It gets real input from the sensors, and sometimes it's not in real time, like something from like a dam. A sensor in a dam wouldn't necessarily be real time. It just checks the level of the thing every hour, let's say. You know, so it's not necessarily real time.
Oh, look, there's a bird.
Yep. You want to make it low cost to manufacture, which is kind of makes the simplicity point. You want it low power as well, so you don't need extra batteries. And you want it redundant. So if one fails, there's a backup and a backup and a backup and a backup. And that's especially to the redundancy is less important in a, I don't know, in a thermostat in your house, but it's really important in a rocket ship
or a dam.
Or in a dam. Yeah, or because of the flood things or whatever, right? So in mission critical stuff, is mission critical software. Yeah, and it's very funny. The standards for this kind of stuff haven't changed in a long, long time. Because when you think about it, it's proven to work and it works well. We're not going to change it. If you add new features to some of the older languages, you can break it. Unbeknownst to you, because they're so complex, right? So you keep it as old as possible, and it's not. There's actually really good jobs for learning how to use older software out there.
There was a second here, and I got it out. It was
and you got a monkey hair out of your
eye.
Oh, Ainsley.
Yes.
Maria wants to say something to you in the chat.
Hi. Yes. That's my name.
Okay, so all these embedded systems have to. Don't worry. You don't even have to worry about this one. The MOSFET. Okay, the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. It's just called a transistor. Okay? The transistor was invented in the 60s in the space program.
Oh, thank you, Maria.
Oh, I love you, Ainsley.
Thank you. That's nice.
You say I love you too?
I love you too, Maria.
There you go.
Miss you.
So the transistor was invented in the 60s for the space program. I already mentioned before, the Apollo guidance computer. And we're going to talk about it after I throw everything around. And I'm going to get a sip of coffee. So the first two embedded systems
were the Apollo guidance computer and the D-17B Minuteman missile.
Yeah, and yeah, so the Minuteman missile, it was the D-17B computer in the Minuteman missile. And the Apollo guidance computer was really, really cool.
Okay, quick question. There were multiple Apollos, just say. Which Apollo?
This was on all of the Apollo missions. They all had 3 of them, except for Apollo 8, which didn't take the LEM, because Apollo 8 just orbited the moon.
Oh.
So it only had 2 on that system. But it was on all of the Apollo missions.
Okay then.
Yeah. And it was the first computer. So see this little thing that I'm kind of circling on, you can't, hopefully we'll be able to see that better.
Yeah.
That's called the DISKY, the display keyboard, and it was the first computer with an actual keyboard and an output so that non-computer scientists would use it, because they were astronauts, right? They weren't computer guys, computer men and women. But that was the first human input from a computer. Isn't that crazy? That wasn't like a punch card or something like that.
Cool.
Cool.
Yes, cool.
Yeah. So there we go.
We should eventually talk about Apollo 13.
Well, we can, and we're going to talk about it while you're playing. The plan of this class is you're going to start playing some Kerbal Space Program, and I'm going to talk about some cool space stuff.
Like Apollo 13.
Like Apollo 13. Yeah. So, as I mentioned when we spoke the history of computing, I think we did, maybe. We spoke a little bit about the NOR gates.
And not a word.
Yeah, the NOR gate. Anyway, it used the Apollo guidance computer and the Minuteman missile used a 3-input NOR gate. It was simpler to manufacture. And they actually sewed it. I'll show you the next picture. They actually sewed it in. They sewed the ones and zeros in. And they did it because the NOR gate can make any other gate. So you can make an AND gate if you put enough of these together. And you can make an OR gate if you put enough of these together. And you can make a NAND gate if you put enough of these together. You can make all the other gates if you put enough of them together. So to simplify manufacturing, they just did the one gate and they did it dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah.
Cool. And I just thought this schematic was a pretty cool picture because it just, I don't know, it's just a cool looking schematic. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Thank you. So they literally sewed it. So you see the wire there, and then those little red things are little phosphoferrous, little piece of iron. And it changes, and if it goes through the little thing, that becomes a 1. And if it doesn't, it's a 0.
That's weird and cool.
So they actually sewed the computer, like the instructions and the numbers into the computer. They actually physically sewed it. Yeah. No, I'm not waving. I'm doing like a sewing motion.
You're waving.
I'm doing a sewing motion. Can you do a sewing motion? There we go. So they actually sewed it. And the company Raytheon, you might know the company Raytheon as a graphics company, as a computer company. Well, they actually were a textiles company back in the 60s, which changed their business model for the Apollo program. And now they're a tech company. Cool, huh? Yeah, and bang.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
So brain teaser. So here we have a picture of hopefully that's big enough for everyone. Hopefully, so that's a picture of a rocket ship going around a celestial body, like a moon, right?
Yeah.
Rocket ship going around the moon, going around the Earth. And that's a picture, on the bottom one is a picture of the control stick. Sorry, I'm not in the screen here. The control stick, right? To move the different directions. Now, how much math, okay, how much math would we need, or how many numbers would we need to control an aircraft?
Hundreds of millions.
So you would think that, right? You would think it's really complex, okay? But let's just talk about the attitude. So what the attitude is, it's kind of the position and direction that the spacecraft is facing. So let's pretend this, where's your spacecraft? Right here. So Ainsley made a
paper mache rocket.
Hold on, let me just change here. Yeah, so Ainsley made a paper mache rocket. Okay? And so when we talk about the attitude, we means if it's going this way or this way. So that's one axis, the x-axis, let's say. This way or this way. And then spinning around. All right? And then also this way, and this way. So I made a little drawing here.
Oh my goodness.
So we have I'm prepared, baby. So we have our, without seeing the reflection too much, here we go. All right, the x, y, and z axis, which way we're going to go. And then here's an example on 3-dimensional plane. Oh, right there, for how we need to go. So we need left and right, up and down, front and back, yeah, and turning, right? Pretty much 4 kind of numbers are involved, right? And if that makes sense, right? Tell me if I'm not making any sense here in the comments. But you go this way, spin, and this way, right? But what's the least number of, because remember, circuits are expensive. This is the 1960s. These things called transistors have just been invented. We want to use as little of these as possible. Sean says, whoa, cool rocket. Yeah. And Sean, Ainsley made this with just a bottle.
And a pencil.
A bottle and paper mache. She did it in the yard the other day. And it was a lot of fun just to do some paper maches and nice craft.
And it's like this part is hollow right here, and it's like.
Yeah.
It's solid.
And how did you make the paper mache again?
You take flour and water or regular school glue, and you take pieces of newspaper that you rip into strips. You soak it in the concoction.
The concoction.
Yeah, you place it on the bottle. You get your dad to drill a hole in a bottle cap. You stick a pencil. You stick a pencil on top inside the bottle cap, and you wrap like paper on top of it.
Yeah.
You get a rocket.
Great little ride.
Oh no! It break a.
Oh no!
Broke.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, there's a slit.
It's an Apollo 13 joke.
I
You
know.
missed it. Okay, so how do we calculate? So let's go to the next slide. Boop. We're going to go
Place that down there.
here, here, here. Okay, so, boop. Sorry. So we have 360 degrees in the x-axis. So where's the rocket? Again. So the x-axis, we're going to say from side to side. So it can go all the way around the x-axis. Okay, 360 degree in the y-axis. Okay, which is going
Up and down.
well, yeah, well,
Front and back.
yeah, front and no, because the z-axis is front and back. Z-axis is front and back. Anyway, and then the roll. So there's 4 different variables, and because we have our powers of 2, right? If let's say there's 360 degrees, so you only need to count to 360.
We don't have 360 on the powers of 2 though.
Yeah, but to store 360 degrees, you would only need 9 bits, right? Because 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. I can't see my thumb. 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512.
10.
Right?
You said 8.
I said 9.
You said 10. And you know, you said 8 and then.
Okay, well I meant, okay. But you only need to hold up to below 512. So you only need those 10 digits. So then you keep those 10 digits for 4 different locations, and there you go. So you don't need to calculate the entire position. You don't have to say this is 360. You just move it 1 bit. That's just 1. Then this is 2. Then this is 3. This is 4. You don't, just by storing 4 digits, you can store the attitude of a rocket ship. Sorry, I'm really screwed up on the old mirror camera today.
Careful, you're not going to poke me in the eye. No, I have sensitive eyeballs.
Okay. So that's it. So that's the math on that, and it's pretty super easy. But it's actually really complex, and
We're making it seem a lot more.
no, the basics are easy. And so in the Apollo guidance system, they actually used a 15-bit. It was 15 bits with a checksum, and they could do positive and negative numbers in binary, and they could do fractions in binary, and it was for the especially it was the first transistor ever made. Like they didn't exist before the moon program. Anyway, it was a pretty impressive feat of engineering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and we're going back here. So, Sean and Ryan, they also want to know about automotive systems. So, here's something. Thank you. Here's an example of an automotive system. This, an airbag is a pretty good example, and a pretty easy example. So there's a sensor that senses that the crash. A sensor that senses a crash, probably by an immediate change of speed.
I'm erasing this.
Right?
So I can draw out stuff.
No. Because I want to keep it. Because they make more questions on it.
Okay, well,
Okay.
let me just quickly rewrite this.
And then the other one, the other picture here is information being fed into a, I was going to say a flight computer, but it's actually just the sensing computer on a, I believe this is on a Ford.
Okay.
So we have the engine speed sensor, the vehicle speed sensor, the brakes on and off, the throttle position, so that's whether it's in drive or whether it's in neutral, the accelerometer, the low pass filter, that filters out any electrical interference.
The microcomputer using
Yep.
our RAM 32.
Yeah, don't worry about what that is, but it stores stuff into the seatbelt sensor, the airbag cutoff. There's a lot of different inputs it takes in, and it just kind of collates all that info.
Warning indicator, airbag.
Yeah. Oh, this should be. Okay, this should have been a series of slides that animated. So let's say you have a minivan,
Okay then.
okay? And you are designing the minivan door. Okay, so you are designing the sensor in the minivan door. Okay? So the computer scientist would need to, or the person designing it, the designer, the engineer, would need to think up about the rules on how the door would work. So would the minivan door, should it open if the car is in gear? What do you think?
Like in drive or like in park?
Exactly. Yeah, so when I say when the car is in gear, I mean in drive.
Oh yeah, no, it shouldn't open.
It shouldn't open when the car's in drive.
It should lock.
Okay. What happens? So the sensors would feel an electric spike if it hit an obstacle. So the door is closing, and it hits, I don't know, your foot. Bang. What should happen if it hits something? Should it keep going?
No, it opens.
Crushing?
No, it opens.
No, but your foot is in the way.
Yeah, it opens.
Oh, it opens. Yeah, it goes back the other way.
I didn't say it closes, I said it opens.
Yes, sorry. Okay. And then what temperature would you need to design it for?
You're in Canada below freezing.
And to how hot?
If you're in Canada above freezing.
How high above freezing?
40 degrees.
Maybe 50 degrees if you want the
You
minivan
never
to work in
know.
the desert, right? But it has to. But now, how would the key still work?
It goes like, turns on the engine.
No, but the key to unlock the door.
Oh, you go in and then it unlocks it because it's like mechanisms and it goes.
But would you need to sense that if you're
Yes.
designing the door?
Yes.
Okay, what else would you think? And type some into the comments, right? What are some other things you want to think about if you're designing the electric sensor or the computer system for a minivan door?
If something crashes into it, it needs to unlock.
If something,
Crashes.
okay, yeah, so now we're going to be quiet because that's a really good one. Now we're going to, hopefully the delay won't be long enough and people can start typing some stuff in. But yeah, if the car crashes, what then? Should it automatically unlock?
3.
Right?
Where they just wrote 3 in it.
3, okay.
What do you mean by 3? Sorry. Okay, she realized her mistake. What do you mean by 3?
Okay, don't worry, it's just fine. There are no comments right there. Okay, it should have LED lights. Yeah, so how do the lights work? Is it a double light to close the door or a single light? Like that's something that the designer can fix. But that's something that you just have to think about when you're designing these systems.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But then you have to put that into circuits. You have to put your ideas. So first it should check if the car is in park, right? That's the first thing.
Then,
Or maybe it could close if the car is in park and open and not open. You should, would it allow the door to close if the car is driving, but not open again?
yeah.
I don't know. See, so those are the questions. So I just wanted to get you guys thinking about those kind of questions, and that's the thought that the computer programmers do for these embedded systems. And it's easy stuff, but it can get complex very quickly.
My dog is not on.
Your dog is not on. No puppy today. Here's a simple drawing for some anti-lock brakes.
Simple.
Well, yeah, fairly simple. So there are sensors in each one of the vehicles. Think of each one of those side as a wheel in a car. All right? And then there's the actual brake itself. It should have a button, which when the key is closed, it opens. Yeah. That's right, Polyuse. Yeah, hello again. And the hydraulic pump. So the actual hydraulic pump for the anti-lock brakes, because what the anti-lock brakes does is it turns on and off the brakes like 1,000,000 times in a second or 1,000 times in a second. And it makes you stop quicker, right? By pumping the brakes, because it still keeps enough friction so your tires don't slide out. And so it senses if the tires are sliding and updates and then sends the signal to the hydraulic pump to pump the brakes on and off for you. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's an example of that. Here we go.
I think
And
it's working.
Moki is out on a thing, and we're gonna load up some Kerbal Space Program. So now we're gonna play some Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program.
Ta-da!
we're actually going to close. Oop, what did I do?
You need to click this and then click escape.
Oh, all right, about that. We're going to keep that open. So we might have a little bit of stutter while Kerbal Space Program loads up.
Give it a second, please.
And we'll go to here while we do. So, what I want to know from everybody is what they are doing to keep busy. What you're doing to keep busy. Elbow coughing. Elbow cough.
Close.
Oh yeah, close. Yeah. That's Kerbal Engineer. Yeah. That's another. Yeah. So.
Look at the beautiful drawing.
Yeah. So Kerbal Space Program. While you guys are writing out what your favorite things to do during this break is, we're loading up Kerbal Space Program. It's a really fun game that's really hard as well, and it teaches you orbital mechanics by you actually building spaceships and rockets and flying around the solar system.
Going outside, that's a fun thing.
Going outside is a really good one. That's why I want to keep this class kind of short. And
it's loading.
Yeah. And it's loading.
I hear the cat.
We renovated the house. As you can see, we are also renovating our house. We are painting, and as soon as this lesson is done, I'm putting the computer, yeah, close that. I'm putting the computer away in the middle of the room, and we're painting the rest of the room. And by Wednesday, this room should all be painted.
We're ready.
Sean is going on long bike rides. Let's do resume saved.
I'm so cool with the rocket.
Yeah, you are. Here we go. And now we'll go to the game itself so the kids can see because everyone likes it.
It's right here in the corner.
I know, but everyone just do.
What? Oh,
I know.
I see.
Bang, here we go. So here we are in mission control.
We are.
And we're going to build a rocket.
Okay.
Do you remember how to do this?
Yeah, kind of.
I'm going to have to talk you through this quite a bit.
No, I know what I think. I kind of know what I'm doing.
Okay, so you have no idea what you're doing. Right?
No, like you take the cockpit, you put it on top, and you get some. Like the
Okay, yeah. So the first thing
yeah.
Ainsley's going to do is get a cockpit. Use that one.
This one?
Yeah. Actually, no. Use that one. Use the single one because it'll be a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Drag that one back.
Ooh. This one?
Yeah. Oh, you can probably hear a kitty in the back. Hi, kitty. Come here, baby. She's gonna come running over. Hi, kitty. Okay, so then it's gonna need a parachute. Yeah, I don't remember where any of this stuff is. It's been a while since I played that.
I remember. It's like inside this. No.
Parachute. We add a parachute to our rocket. Okay. And then we're gonna need a separation. And then you're gonna need a thermal thing.
Where? Here?
Yeah, right there. No, that's the wrong size. Yeah, sure. No, that's the wrong size.
No!
This is gonna be
Beautiful.
the bottom, yeah. Bottom. Now you're gonna need a coupler or a.
You can look up.
You move.
Oh!
Yeah, cool, eh?
Yeah. Okay, now what do we need?
Go to a coupler. Here, let me just find it for you because I didn't plan this out at all. And this might be a travesty because there's so many different parts.
Oh, what is this?
Communication, science, utility.
Do you need like a rocket?
Payload. Coupling. Here we go, coupler. You know how it separates?
Yeah.
Right?
Is this thing that like tells it when to separate?
Yeah. There we go.
So now do we add a rocket so we can like...
Now we have a rocket. So now we have... And now we need fuel. The fuel tank. Here we go. So there's a lot of different types of fuel tanks. Yeah, I want. I used to know a way to be able to filter all of these. Here we go. Fuel tank. Let's do another fuel tank. Where is it? Why not? Because it's a rocket. Who cares? And we need an engine. Awesome engine. go. And let's try launching this. Let's see if we can get into orbit. Launch.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Do you remember how the buttons go?
No, but I'll try.
Okay, so you gotta turn the reaction. Don't crash. We promise nothing. So do R, reaction control system on. Hold the throttle all the way up. And then press space bar. Wait.
Oh, this one came off.
What came off?
The top.
Oh! Revert flight. Revert to vehicle assembly.
The top just came off. It's like,
We probably screwed up our staging. That should be it. Yeah, because you hit it twice. Okay, we'll try launching it again. Okay, so finishing the 4th Harry Potter book and watching the movie. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so here our throttle's going up, turning our reaction control system on, and our reaction control system on, and we are launching. Here we go. We are going into outer space, hopefully. And yeah.
we have our little guy. Oh no, you can't see the
And
little
we can
guy.
go to our map. So here we are.
Is it frozen?
No.
Wow.
And here we are, little map, and we have a whole satellite system that we are the solar system that we can. Yeah, and so we leave our map, and here we go. We're still going up. So funny, you think that to get into orbit, you just go straight up,
No.
but you actually,
Go on an angle.
it's about sideways velocity.
Because the Earth is circular, so you have to go on an angle to be able to go
Yeah,
down.
so we'll be able to see our trajectory if we move this way. So here's our trajectory, slowly going up. And because we're going sideways, eventually this is going to be going, imagine falling, falling, falling. We're going to be falling around the Earth.
And that's what those satellites use for their advantage, so they fall around the Earth.
Okay, so here we are, we're going through, launching, launching, launching. I see your cat.
Yes.
I hear Lulu, says Waverly. Yeah. And here we go. So we're going up to about. And the cool thing about this game also is that it's the same size as if the Earth is the moon, or the planet Kerbin, the planet you're using, the planet you're seeing here, the same size as the moon. So it takes about as much fuel and et cetera, to get off the planet to the moon. Yeah. It's a great game. It's, yeah, Brianna and Lester boys, I totally recommend it. For all you girls, I totally recommend it for all you kids. And, am I out of map mode now?
No, because you're.
So you can add a maneuver, and then I want to increase my speed, and that's my maneuver to put me in orbit, and I want a little orbit. Oop. Done. So, burn time 29 seconds. See how it says bottom right in the burn time? Burn time 29 seconds.
We're gonna go back to oh, here he is.
Yeah, so here we are. And there's my orbit. But so now we're controlling the spacecraft. Here's the map that I wanted to talk to you about. Is we can control ourselves this way. Okay, whoa, left and right. Then back and forward. Back and forward. And this way. And there's spin involved. See how that's spinning?
Yeah.
So now we have to aim our gyro to here. I'll see if we can actually get into orbit. We have to start our burn now. We have to start our burn now and see if we can do it. There we go. So, really fun game. Gorgeous game too, and really cheap. It was only like $20. And they're coming out with a Kerbal Space Program 2 in a couple of years or so. And that's it. And now, we are not in orbit yet. See that? Oh, we're going to be out of fuel. We're going to have a crash landing. We're not going to get into orbit.
Ooh, and this is where
Trial and error, yeah, so we're not going to make it in orbit because our rocket wasn't big enough. Anyway, we're going to crash down in the water, but the good thing we have a parachute.
Yeah, okay, so let's go down now.
Look at that water. Isn't that cool? And we can fast forward time. So anyway, are there any questions? Because this is the class today.
Are you going to like move it? Because I need to see the world. So
We are moving.
crashing down.
We are moving. I just fast forwarded. Okay, I'll fast forward more. Ooh.
And you can't go past
I
4
can't
times.
go past 4 times. Okay. So anyway, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Let's go cancel this class and talk about some. Let's go outside and let's enjoy the day outside, guys. So, any more information you guys want? I'll be on for 1 or 2 more minutes, and Ainsley can play some Kerbal Space Program.
Yay!
Uh,
No, I want to.
Revert flight to assembly. So you can make a new vehicle. So Ainsley will be on for a couple of minutes playing vids, and I'm all done teaching. Just click. Click. Thanks, guys. Ciao. Back to playing. Bye, Lester.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, I need this stuff.
Can I do a video on televisions? Yes, I can do a video on televisions. That's a good question.
No, it's in thermal. Hold on. There we go.
Thanks. Have a good day, you too. See you later.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming again.
It's gonna fall. No, we need no fuel.
Yeah, it's easier to set up almost. There's a way to like do it so it's only the 1 point. Anyway, I don't know how to do it. Oh wait, I know. This one, put it there. Do filter by. Filter by cross-section profile. 1.25 meters. Yeah, so that's all the 1.25 meter parts then. So that's the smaller parts. There you go.
So where are the fuel tanks?
In.
Oh no, there's a fuel tank right here.
Okay.
And it's on fuel.
You don't have a coupler.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Look,
It's a heat shield.
yeah, it's a coupler. Wait, what's a coupler? Wait, what? Is this a coupler? Oh, that's big.
So you know, you just chose the different size. You just chose the wrong size.
Oh, where?
Under coupling.
What? Where?
Coupling. You're killing me. Coupling. Those are the couplers. Do you want to? How about you find a? Can you do a video on robots? Yes, you can do a video on robots. Absolutely, we can do a video on robots. Do you want to do a pre-built ship?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
We still have a fuel tank attack.
Oh. Yeah, don't save.
Let's do this one.
Cool. Launch. Somebody have a great rest of the day and stay healthy. You too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You too.
Loading. Oh, there's 3 people. We have.
Yeah.
There's 3 people.
So turn on that, turn on that. Shift, throttle up, and now spacebar just once to launch. And once again. There we go. Look at the moon right there. Cool, right?
Let's go to the moon.
Yeah. So that's it. No one's watching anyone.
Okay,
We're gonna
bye-bye.
stop the stream. Bye, everybody.